Tara.
Blame Tara Lynn.
Somebody's feeding back.
How's Miss Rachel?
Who was that? Is that Dolores?
6.
Russell?
Was it number 6? Okay.
Okay, now to make sure. We're in.
Yeah.
Or she's not on. Are you on?
There's no battery signal.
Check 1, 2.
Hey, Gloria. I mean, did you see the baby? Yeah, the baby's not quite as big as the bottle. It's cute. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you.
Oh. Is the bottom twisted all the way?
There you go.
Might not put that in there.
You can put
Okay,
it.
2-minute warning. Got 2 minutes.
Is your light bright or is it dim?
It looks dim. It's dim.
It's dim, but we replaced my battery earlier today.
And she twisted it at the bottom there, yeah.
This may be okay.
6:30. I take
You're
it
a
back.
minute.
I take it back. I take it back. I'm sorry. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot the priest here.
I have vacation rights.
Uh-oh, where you going?
13 days.
Where you going?
Disney cruise.
Oh, nice.
my gosh, you and Brian.
And mom and dad.
Oh, wow. Oh, how cool. Good girl.
Okay, I just flipped over to 6:30. I'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with a pledge to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first order of business is to approve the minutes of the April 14th, 2025 council meeting. Got a motion from Russell to approve the minutes as presented. Can I get a second, please?
I second.
Dolores, all those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you. Okay, we've got 3 sets of adjustments, payroll vouchers, and monthly bills. We should have received these via email. I get a motion to approve these.
Yes,
Dolores,
yes.
can I get a second, please?
Second.
From Glenn. All those in favor of approving signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you. Rachel, there you are. Come on up. Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
All right. I don't have too much of an update this month. They're still putting pipe in the ground. If anyone's driven by, you can tell exactly where they're working. There's big pieces of equipment and lots of dirt everywhere. But the pipe is installed all the way down Washington Street. They've crossed the creek. Now they're working on up to the lift station and getting across the road and across the creek there. There's quite a few creek crossings because it zigzags. But they're getting it. They're getting the pipe in the ground. Where they are now is all rock, so it's really slow going. They've had with all those big machines, it works, and then something goes wrong, and you got to get it fixed, and then it works again. So they're working through that. So it hasn't been too much activity besides the big rock boring machine trying to get the pipe in the ground for the past week. Probably will pick up again in early June with more actual excavation and work at the lift station and at the treatment plant. So that's kind of where we are right now. Like I said, if you drive by, you can figure out exactly where they are and what they're doing because it's all right there next to the road. We have a construction meeting coming up this Thursday, 1 p.m. here. I have a site visit before that with Damon to talk about a couple of things out at the wastewater plant. I think in the update memo at the end, there's a couple of pictures of the pipe going in. If they print it off, okay, they're kind of hard to see, they're dark. The big thing I guess I have to present regarding wastewater is pay application number 3 for the contractor. And this includes primarily the pipe that's installed as well as some stored materials and pipe. And they have attached, I have 2 copies of the pay up there for you guys to flip through. All of their invoices for the stored materials are attached so you can see, and they're all labeled with Westport. So that is for your approval. And then I did have one note on the drinking water side. Both Gloria and I sat on a kickoff meeting for the Emerging Contaminants Grant through the IFA, the same group that got the grant for the wastewater project, actually. Different grant, different money, different red tape. So we're excited to get started on that, working through all the new red tape on that. So. That's about all I have. I'll keep it short, unless anyone's got questions or concerns.
The update meeting this Thursday at 1. Russell, I don't know that you've been to one of those. Could you, Lynn has been to one and Dolores has been. Would you like to come this Thursday?
Sure.
It's in the front room of the community building here. It's not at the town hall, it's here.
Okay.
Okay.
They're very exciting.
Oh, yes.
Hey, Russell, there will be no punch and cookies.
Scratch is fine.
Okay.
Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Okay. Could I get a motion to go ahead and entertain or go ahead and sign the pay app here? It was in the update and it's for $2,060,304.20. And then is part of that retainage?
There is a retainage on top of that.
$108,437.06. So I'll make the motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving the pay app signify by saying aye, please. Aye. All opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want this copy, Rachel?
I need it.
Gloria needs it. Okay.
Need to sign both copies.
60,304.20.
Correct.
Thank you.
Both those. Okay, next on the agenda, Gail Lee, you want to come up?
Yeah, I'm here to discuss the issue that we have at the north end of Westwood Drive and the turnaround. I'm assuming is a public turnaround. Problem we're having is it's been an annoyance. It has now turned into a dissension because before we could go out and ask people not to park in that area, they understood they would move. Now we're to the point where people believe they are entitled to park there and sit. Because it's me and inconvenient, I cannot get out of my driveway or into my driveway, depending upon whether I'm back in or pulled in. I can't get into it if it's blocked. I would like to see a sign placed in that area noting that it is a public turnaround and there is no parking there. That's one of the problems with it.
Okay, anything else?
The other part of it is the turnaround, which I've been studying it, I've looked at it, I haven't come up with an answer yet. It's not big enough. I've had to give up half my driveway all summer long for the school bus to be able to turn around there, which I agreed to because that was the only way they would come down that street, pick up my grandkids. They wanted them to walk over to the other street in the dark and the rain and snow, which I agreed to that. The problem I've got Bestway trucks and other trucks coming up there, tearing up my part of the blacktop driveway because the turnaround is too small. So at least I would like to have it so I can I'm not being denied the use of my driveway.
Anything else?
That's about it.
So I think this may be a question for starters, for Damon and maybe for Luke to take a look. If we can put a sign down there about no parking or T-turnaround. I don't know what kind of signs are made.
I can definitely get a sign.
Okay,
As far as making it any bigger, I mean,
I think it's been enlarged once.
It's been, like I say, it has been enlarged once, I believe,
Yeah,
but it is still not large enough to. You seen what happened one day, Brian?
oh yeah,
When I had the semi in the front
yeah, I
yard.
saw that.
People think they are entitled to do as they please. If I had not been home that day, do you think anything would have been said about it, or if I would just come home and found it like that?
I can't answer that.
You know as well as I do what would have happened.
Now, please tell the crowd though, what the contractor did that same day.
The contractor, when they showed up with a semi-load of what materials, semi driver got out, come to my door, said he was going to get off the edge of my driveway just a little bit to turn around. So in the meantime, I go in, take my shoes off, and get my shoes off so I can step outside. And I go out and I have a full-size semi-tractor in my front yard, turning around. Without my permission. I had a discussion with the trucking company, the contractor, and the company that sold the building materials, and they agreed that they would have somebody come in and fix it. But if I hadn't been home, nothing would have been said. It's becoming, right now, I don't know her plans on her driveway. None of that ever makes any sense to me, because it almost looks to me like she's gonna have to use part of the turnaround to be able to get into her garage, because it's facing the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand it, but I would like to be able to use my driveway that I pay for, and not have to worry about these entitled people that I believe we're in a society that everybody believes they're entitled. No, it's not the same anymore around here.
I have spoken to Linda. I asked her to talk to the contractor about parking up there. I haven't seen anybody park there within the last week. Now, I haven't been watching it extremely close, but whenever I'm outside, I look down
The
there.
crew that's working here right now laying the bricks, they were, till we went out there and discussed it with them,
Okay,
and they agreed that they would not park there.
okay, cool.
But the contractor himself has not been back there.
Okay,
But it's not just the contractors, it's when there's going on in the neighborhood up there, people park up there. I'd like to be able to use my driveway.
yeah. So probably the easy part is to get a sign. The not so easy part is how, if we could enlarge it or not. So we'll have to get an answer on that.
Just, 10 days from now, school will be out. I am going to make sure that the Bestway truck does not back into my driveway. But you may hear some discussion from them,
Okay.
just so you know.
Do you use Best Way services?
No, I do not.
Okay.
And
Who down there does? Jared and Mandy, your neighbor?
Gretchen does, and there's another house down there that does.
Okay,
But like I say, them picking up trash should not be causing me any inconvenience or damage. I know it's just, the whole outlay down there is wrong. I don't see where there's room to make it any bigger. But I'm not sure how much of the town has a variance over. I don't think they got enough room. The other problem with it, there's a fire hydrant there.
right, at the end, yeah.
I'd just like to be able to use my driveway.
Okay, well, we'll see what we can do.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Speaking of traffic, we have the second reading of our traffic ordinance. This is regulating traffic on Range Street. Do we have the signs yet?
Yes.
Or,
We're just waiting on tonight.
okay,
They're going up.
okay. We're trying to limit semi-traffic on Range off of the highway down to the four-way stop at Main. There are some exceptions, though. School buses are accepted, agricultural vehicles operating seasonally for local farm access. Brian Jones pointed out was it last Tuesday or a couple Tuesdays ago? But that's probably one of the biggest offenders. But
Right, so so farm semis are okay?
it says agricultural vehicles
Right.
operating seasonally for local farm access. That's,
So does that follow a tractor or a semi?
Isn't it 3-axle or something?
Yeah, I think we do have like truck defined.
truck is defined,
Yeah.
But-
And I remember the original discussion, and when I was putting this together, wanted to allow for those vehicles, but shared the same concern that you had mentioned, that some of those, are may be vehicles that we're not wanting to include on
Yeah, the
there.
definition of truck is any motor vehicle, including trailers or semi-trailers, has 3 or more axles, designed, used primarily for transporting goods, cargo, materials, has a gross vehicle weight rating of 10,000 pounds or more.
And I can't remember if it was anything that's smaller than that that's also offending or causing the problems, or if that captures those vehicles. We can certainly change the size to capture the vehicles that we're wanting to redirect.
If you go sit on anybody's porch on Rain Street, those grain trucks are the biggest offender. Oh, boy. I mean, you can't hear yourself think when they go up and down through there.
And sometimes on something like this, we can tweak it too. So if we make these changes, I know we have the signage, and that would go up, but that would still redirect the traffic. We can change the definition as well. And so it's a matter of, if this is a good step, and then see if we continue to have those problems, we can modify the ordinance as needed in the future as well.
It would be my recommendation, we go ahead and pass it as is, and then we can tweak.
I
as
just
we
thought
need.
Brian had a very good question because
Yeah,
I hadn't
yeah.
even thought about that till
Yep,
he said something.
I remembered as I was drafting it that there was initial discussion about that, and I was hoping that we were being inclusive enough of those vehicles that were problematic, but not being over-inclusive so that we were preventing vehicles that weren't necessarily a problem, but that were agricultural in nature.
So this is amending ordinance 1987-4, and adding section 0.1 to 0.6. The definitions, truck and local delivery. Truck traffic prohibited. No person shall operate or cause to be operated any truck on Rain Street between State Road 3 and Main Street within the corporate limits of the town of Westport, Indiana. Then it goes through the exceptions. Trucks making local deliveries to or from properties located on Rain Street between State Road 3 and Main. Emergency vehicles, public utility or municipal service vehicles engaged in authorized work, school buses, and then the 5th exception is agricultural vehicles operating seasonally for local farm access. Posting of signs. The town of Westport Department of Public Works shall erect and maintain signage at all necessary locations to notify drivers of this restriction. Signs shall comply with the Indiana Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices. Enforcement and penalties. Violation of section 0.2 of this ordinance constitutes Class C infraction under Indiana Code 342854 and is subject to a fine of up to $500 per occurrence. Each trip or occurrence shall constitute a separate violation. And this will be in effect. This is second reading, and I'd recommend that we go ahead and pass this. I entertain a motion, please.
I make a motion.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second?
A second from Jenny, motion from Glenn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. Sign under the I column, please. So we've got the first reading of an updated ordinance on staggered elections of the town board. Just go ahead and sign underneath there. So all 5 of the seats currently are at-large seats. And when we come up for re-election in November of 2027, there are going to be 5 spots on the ballot. Of those 5 spots, 3 will be 4-year terms and 2 will be 3-year terms. And the question was, how do you distinguish on the ballot which seats are which when you vote? Because the ballot will be presented to the public to vote for up to 5 people. With my thumb. And what this modification says, that the top 3 vote getters in that election in November of 2027 will be the 4-year term. The 4th and 5th place vote getters will be the 3-year seats, just for that one term. In perpetuity, those seats are now staggered and everything is 4 years. But 2 of the seats are offset by 1. You did put in, Alex did put in here, if there is, in case of a tie, the other thing that could kind of cause this to go awry, Alex, is if there are only 5 candidates that file. If only 5 candidates file, there is no election. And there's no way to distinguish. So we can go off and noodle some more. I like this option, by the way. I think it makes a lot of sense. We need to encourage folks in the community to go and file, and we need at least 6 candidates to force an election in 2027. Otherwise, the 5 that file get the 5 seats, and you're still left with the dilemma, which of the 2 seats are the 3 years?
Would almost be probably, we can modify it between this month and next month if it's passed on first reading, and there's consensus, but it may be that would trigger the tie clause, and then essentially there would be, I think I use the term a lot, but essentially drawing names to figure out who serves the 4-year term and the 3-year term. So it may be that if that eventually, which is not included in here, but I think it's probably worth mentioning and clarifying, that eventuality would also trigger the tie clause.
Okay. So in general, I think I would like to go ahead and approve the first reading of this as is, because I like the idea. And if we can encourage and get 6 people to run, that forces a town election and will bring people out to vote that way. If only 5 people file, there is no election. Really, the populace of Westport has no say over those 5 because they are the only 5, and that's the 5 that get the seats without being elected. It's the way the elections work. In some of my previous terms, I don't remember whether we had to refile or not, but we were unopposed, and there was no election. So you just went on into the next term. But I personally like elections. It's the Gatewood side of me. We like the politics. It's kind of neat. So, any questions from board members?
I understand.
Okay. So I'll make the motion that we approve first reading here on the ordinance that we have about basically gives the 4th and 5th place vote getters the 3-year term.
Second.
Got a second from Russell. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, so we got first reading. All right, Damon?
Good. We got the bids back for the room back here. One bid we got from H&S Renovations was $16,434. And the other one we got back was from Heartland Gutters was $5,632. Much difference. However, I guess there was a little bit of misunderstanding. I thought this back wall was staying and being painted. I guess they did want it redone too, so there will be a little bit added on to that. So we would like the approval to go ahead with that. I'm going to guess off the top of my head, somewhere between $1,000 and $1,200 difference added on to do the back wall. So I apologize for that misunderstanding.
H&S Renovations, and who was the other one?
Heartland Gutters. They go by Heartland Gutters. They're the ones that did the outside of the building. They do metal work.
Okay.
So I'd like approval to go ahead and get the inside done here. I guess we have to go ahead, just the blessing, go ahead and do it, I guess. But there will be a little bit of difference to add the back wall.
Okay.
The other thing we have, our mower for the water and sewer. This kind of took a downfall on us. I was hoping we'd get this year out of it. Doesn't look like it's going to make it. It's needing a new mower. It's 21 years old. It's going to be about $3,500 for a mower, or I'm not for a mower. I'm sorry, for a new motor. Last week, first time we mowed with it, I think it was the first time, might have been the second. We ended up spending a little over $300 for a part for it this past week. I'm sorry, the clutch went out of it. Now when you turn the motor on, the blades automatically engage, so you can't turn it on or off without the blades automatically turning on. So I was wanting to see about getting an approval to go ahead and purchase a new mower this year for the water and sewer versus spending $3,500 for roughly $35 for a new motor for a mower that's 21 years old. I did get estimates for that, and it was $15,839, and that was for a new Skaggs. They seem to be treating us, the Skaggs is the best, low maintenance. We don't seem to have much issues with the Skaggs we purchased versus the last Exmark we bought that seems to be in the shop more than it mows.
What do you think? Speak freely. I know you probably don't like it, but
I would say technically, we should not purchase new items if at all possible. But I understand we've got to operate, and this is an operational expense. It'll be split between water and sewer, which helps the situation out. And Damon looked for a more affordable mower because we were looking at kind of $20,000 originally. So I appreciate the price, and if you got to buy it, you got to buy it.
okay. All right. Questions from you guys? Or Jenny? I'll make the motion. We go ahead and give him the okay to get a new Skag. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Point of order on the gutters. I would propose that we have a vote on approving the lowest responsive bidder, which it sounds like, is that Heartland Gutters?
Yeah.
I'd recommend having a vote on that, just so
Okay.
the record's clear.
I also want to ask, which fund are you wanting to pay for that out of?
We could take it out of the non-reverting fund, since
Okay.
it's building improvements.
That would be preferable.
So I'll make a motion that we go with the Heartland Gutters estimate of $5632 plus the back wall, and that we take it out of the non-reverting building improvement fund. That's a motion. Can I get a second?
I will second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. That help?
Do I have anything?
Yes. Thank you. All right. That brings us to the end of the agenda. So I open it up to public comments, and comments are limited to 3 minutes. So I'm opening up the public comment time. Raise your hand. I'll recognize you. You can come up. Anybody?
I thought we were going to be on the agenda, so I apologize.
Okay, state your names, please, and tell us.
Shelley,
Kelly Sullivan and Julie Slager. We have SNS House to Home. And we are in the process of purchasing 603 East North Street. The current owner has passed away, and so we're working with the attorney to purchase that property, and we would like to fix it up and flip it. There is an adjoining property that she also owned, and we are hoping to bring in a manufactured home there and sell it as well. So,
So we wanted your blessing.
Yeah,
We were told
we were told we needed the blessing. Yeah.
Okay. I'd have to look this up and see exactly where it's at.
I was getting ready to ask you, which
Yeah.
house is that?
Dolores, is this,
It's the Ways and Views.
Oh.
does North Street turn into High School Road?
Yes.
We just sent you a mowing letter.
Oh, well, you sent it to the attorney. We've
You
been in
got
close
the house
contact with.
phone, but you didn't get the lot.
I saw that. We went by yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody mowed the lot today.
Oh, they
Oh,
did.
yeah, no. Oh, they did. Wow, I was over
Okay.
there.
Awesome.
bet.
Yeah.
We
So-
haven't purchased it yet, so the lawyers,
We're-
the state is the one who's supposed to be keeping that maintained at the
Yes.
moment until. it
We're hoping to
changes.
close June the 11th. And so then we would start improving both of the properties at that moment.
Huh. How about that? What was your, I'm sorry, what was y'all's name again?
Kelly Sullivan
Kelly Sullivan.
and Julie Slager. And we can spell that because you won't spell it right, probably.
It's SCHLEHUS. It just goes on and on.
You got that? Wow, you're good. Cause I,
Horrible last.
okay, well, I'm taking your word
That's why
for
we're
it.
Sullivan and Slater, that's why we're
SNS.
SNS.
Yes.
Okay.
So they told me in Decatur County, we needed a letter of blessing from you guys in order to move forward with that. So,
So the renovation of an existing structure, all you need is a building permit.
Correct.
If you're going to, and Jeff, you might even be able to help me out. If you're going to change things structurally on the inside, if you're moving walls, if you're adding trusses in the roof, if you're putting shingles on, if you're putting siding on, if you're replacing windows and not changing the number of windows, I don't even think you need a building permit to improve a property. I'm not the authority, though.
sure.
Only the county is.
Okay.
Let's see.
Structural, electrical, and plumbing, correct? You gotta have it.
Oh, well, then.
I
it's
was
gonna
thinking
be that.
electrical and plumbing.
Okay.
That's how it is in
then
most
you'll-
counties, but
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it.
And they typically do not require us to weigh in on just improving the property. 603.
so the lot next to it is, I think it's a 0.23 acre lot. Here to the left of it.
Yes.
And we were hoping to put a manufactured home there to resell, Baird's and Seymour.
Yeah, and you're going to have to give us a chance to look up our ordinance on that. Any manufactured home you put in there is going to have a block foundation.
Yes,
Under-
they do a 3-block foundation. And I spoke with someone a couple weeks ago. This would be like 1,280 square feet. They said it needed to be more than like 960. So Baird's would do everything. We've already spoken to Duke. He said it's a real easy hook in from one of the poles. We left a message for water, but I hadn't spoke to
He's our
anybody
guy,
yet.
right?
So
And I see
we're just
water
gonna
and
go,
sewer.
we'll just talk to him when we're finished. So,
So is this going to be a mobile home, a trailer?
It'll be
or
it'll be a manufacturer, so it's double, it's
Okay.
two,
Yeah.
it'll be pieced together, will come in.
Right.
They'll put the blocks down and piece the two pieces
I
together.
think,
It's a
I think we've
three-bedroom,
done that
two-bath.
before
Yeah.
here in
yeah,
town.
there's several in the area.
Yeah, and that's why we were like, why don't we just put one, instead of building, that makes more sense, I think.
I don't think you need a vote from us. I do want to look up our ordinance, though,
Sure,
and make sure. And if I decide that you're within the ordinance, we can go ahead and give the letter. I'll notify my other board members.
Okay. So we
Uh,
just leave you our number or,
Yeah, leave it with Gloria.
okay,
And I do have office hours on Tuesdays, 8 to noon at the town hall,
okay,
usually every week. And I've got, I rotate my board members that come in two people aren't a quorum, so we can, two of us can sit together and people can walk in for anything. Although 10 o'clock tomorrow is the water people coming in,
RCAP.
RCAP? Okay. And,
So maybe
but,
next Tuesday.
what's your time frame on this? Can we have a week or so?
Oh, yeah, we closed June the 11th, so we haven't given Baird an answer. We've went down and viewed the models and narrowed it down to 2, but they said they would just wait to hear from us.
If you haven't heard from us by next week, give Gloria a call at the town hall.
Okay.
She knows how to reach me.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President,
Thank you.
can I ask one clarifying question?
Yeah.
Was it area plan that sent you here, or was it technical code enforcement? Do you know?
I believe it was code enforcement.
Okay,
Which was probably
Is
area
it
plan.
Yeah, planning and zoning.
Those are the ones that normally send them here.
Yeah.
Did you go to the courthouse?
I just called.
Oh, okay.
And she said we just needed a blessing letter to move forward
Are-
to get the permit.
are you going to need like a variance or anything like that from area plan commission?
Not that I'm aware
Are these
of.
going to be single family?
Yes.
So it's not
Yeah.
changing like the density or zoning
No,
or
no.
anything
They're not gonna
like
be
that?
rentals. I mean, we're selling them to homeowners in the area, hopefully.
Okay.
What's important.
Did they give you any sort of letter or anything like that, like as far as like,
They
okay.
said we had to have the letter from you first before we can move forward with that.
But you submitted an application to area plan or technical code enforcement?
No, they told
We
me.
haven't, there's
told me
been
we
no
had to start
paper
here.
yet. It's just been a phone call,
Yeah.
Okay.
which doesn't surprise me.
Gotcha. I was just, sometimes we get these requests and a letter is expected of us, but it's not always clear exactly what the letter
It's supposed
needs
to
to
say.
say or what the
Yeah.
town is to agree to or is comfortable with. So any, I think, information that you're able to give Brian during his office hours so that the council can understand exactly what is going in there and what the need for the council to agree to this, what it is on the county side, I think would be helpful.
Okay.
So it would have to fit within all the setbacks of, that's probably zoned two up there. And again, I'm not the final arbiter of that, but if you have a sketch of the double wide and you could drop, huh? You got it?
Let's give it to you.
Yeah,
These are both of them.
okay. Perfect. And is your phone numbers on here?
I could put them on, I could put them in a folder if you'd like me to.
Yeah, just do that. And then if we got any questions, we can call. I think your house right across Ellen Street there is relatively new. Yeah, that was a vacant lot there for a while.
I'll just put mine.
Was there?
There's in there.
You may be thinking the other direction.
Yeah, I can film it the other way.
Barely.
All right, thank you, ladies.
If anybody else wants to know my number, let me know. Hell's lot.
Okay, anyone else? Come on up. Good evening.
I think the key word on the last thing was manufactured home. It's probably why they're calling that, because there are some, typically those can be put in R2, but there are some jurisdictions that look at that a little bit different than a stick-built house.
Yeah, I want to read our ordinance.
Yeah, and I don't know
See
what
it
our
says.
ordinance says for that. I do know we have some in town, but I don't know how many years ago that was. So, yeah. Just two things for Westport Westland. I got my Westport Westland cap on tonight. One is, I guess it's probably more of a informational thing, both of these things. But we are going to do Bounce House in the park again this year, starting on every Monday night, June and July. And so I'm just asking if there's any questions or is there any problems with us doing that in the park. It'll be from 6 o'clock to 7:30 every Monday night for June and July.
Bounce house in the park.
Mhm.
What was the times again?
6 to 7:30.
Weekly on Monday evening?
Mhm. We've done this, I think this is the third year for that now.
I don't remember. We voted on this in the past. I don't know whether we even need to or not.
We did.
I think it was just a point of information.
Give you a head nod.
I don't
Yeah.
think it.
Yeah.
Just about everybody. Because they want to.
Second thing is May the 25th. One of the things that was interesting to me when I've come into town, I've been in town now for 2 years, and I found out that there is no Narcan box in town anywhere. There's none publicly available. And so Westport Westland's putting a Narcan box in. We have a grant that will fund that. We're doing Narcan training on May the 25th, which is a Sunday night from 5:30 to 7:30. It's just simply point of information, letting you guys know that as far as I know,
What was the date on the
May
training?
the 25th.
Oh, okay.
There'll be a cookout that night. You're more than welcome to come to that. But the main reason for that is to have Narcan training that night. Point of information.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you much.
Yeah, I got a text from Luke today, our deputy. I think there was a little confusion and some communication somewhere. He wanted to be sure if that topic came up, that the police and the fire department, they do all carry Narcan on board. So, but this is a publicly available dispensary, if you will, where people can come by and pick them up when you're providing training on how to use it. Okay, cool.
So it's gonna be at your current church now, and then you'll probably move it.
Probably stay right there.
Okay. Anyone else?
Can I say something,
Yeah,
please?
absolutely.
Had some concern about engine brakes on 3. Is it against the law to have a sign for no engine brakes on a state highway? It's not encouraged. Is that the way it is?
I don't know. Terry, do you know? Did I get your name right? Chris Reisner. Wiesner. I was telling Dolores earlier in the week, I think we looked into this once, but if there's interest, we can look into it again. I think we end up at State Highway down in Seymour.
I mentioned that it may have changed because the town of Liberty pursued it a few years ago and they were in a big lawsuit over it. And there was a lot of discussion about it with the clerk treasurers last year, and I didn't have time to go look, but I was thinking they're not recommending it anymore because of all the lawsuit stuff, but I could be wrong.
We can certainly look into it and see what we come up with. I don't hold out much hope, though. My recollection is that either state highway or county highway or somebody was not going to allow us to try to limit engine brakes. I don't know if it's allowed in other states or what the deal is, but my recollection was that we couldn't do it, but I don't remember why or how long ago that was that we checked.
Well, what I looked up was the Indiana Department of Transportation generally does not allow signs prohibiting engine brakes on state highways,
Right.
except in specific cases like the Indiana Toll Road or cities and small cities and towns. So, I don't, okay, all right.
All right. Anything else? Going once, going twice? Before we adjourn, I said something last month about possibly giving away a weather alert radio. And I have one now. So I'm going to adjourn. We're going to shut off the video